I'm Kevin Goodnow. I'm the main lobbyist for the Minnesota Home Care Association. Just want to give you a update with regard to where we're at with the legislative session in Minnesota. We are just completed the week as omnibus spending bills were moved through various committees and actually through the Senate floor. We have 3 weeks of session left. A lot of negotiation that's going to take place between the Senate and the House and the governor's office on a number of things. Those specific things that really impact folks who are members of the Minnesota Home Care Association would include the Vulnerable Adults Act changes that have been pushed through. The governor has come up with his proposal that is strongly supported by ARP and other advocacy groups. We have Representative Keel in the House, who has been the main point person on this in the Minnesota House. Her proposal and her language with regard to this is included in the omnibus Human Services Bill, which will be moving and up for a hearing on the House floor on Tuesday of next week. At the same time, the Senate, Senator Housley is the main point person in the Senate with regard to this issue. Her bill is moving through as a separate bill, a standalone bill, and there are differences between the House Senate proposal and a lot of difference between where the governor's coming at on this. So this is one of those more dynamic issues that we're dealing with related to home care that will be impacted as we go through the negotiations among the House, Senate, and the governor's office as well. So we're there watching what's going on. We want to make sure that we have solid regulations in place to protect vulnerable adults. At the same time, we want to make sure we don't have unnecessary regulations that impact the ability of providers to provide the services. Another issue that we're working on is related to sexual predators. In the past, in current law, that if there's a sexual predator who's going to be placed in a nursing home or assisted living facility, the facility it's required that they be notified that that person is a registered sex offender. We are extending this requirement to home care agencies, that if you're enrolling somebody for home care services, that you would need to be notified that that individual is a registered sex offender. That bill is not moving in the Senate, but we have it in the House Omnibus bill. Representative Zerwas was our author in the House who's been pushing that forward. So that one is still alive and will be part of that omnibus bill negotiations. Another issue is electronic visit verification. Again, this is in response to the federal requirement that we do EVV system in Minnesota. That is included in both the House and the Senate. We are taking an approach where we're working with the Department of Human Services to minimize the financial and service impact on individuals being served and providers, while complying with the federal law. So that bill is alive and well, and again, that language is the same in both the House and the Senate. We also have the healthcare licensure bill that we've been working on with a lot of other advocacy groups that are just tweaking some of the licensure requirements with regard to home care licensure. That bill is alive also in the House omnibus bill as well, so that's another one that's moving forward. Also in the House bill is the Nurse Licensure Compact. This is something that the governor has traditionally opposed, but if they're able to get it through the House when that bill comes up, it's a possibility that's still in play, and you never know where the negotiations might go with the governor on those issues. And then finally, I just want to mention briefly about personal care assistance. Although there was talk about raising rates for personal care assistance services, those did not take place. We don't have that in either the House or the Senate. One thing to note, though, is that the governor in his proposal followed through on the final end of the contract negotiations and included a 1.69% increase on the rates. So even though it's not in the House and the Senate, I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't come up during the final negotiations on the bill. So that's it for now. Again, 3 weeks left, and we're going to be working for the Minnesota Home Care Association, and we'll be sending updates out to you as things change. Thank you.